Yeah, I think what's important to say is that 6 days ago, county calls. We already started that. We started talking with the MDOT. We started talking with the Department of Public Safety, Department of Health. Check all the nursing homes in North Mississippi. Let's make sure that they have. So, but Mother Nature's got the vote. She's got the final vote, and that happens during hurricanes. It happens during tornadoes. We prepare. We get things. We've already been, for the past 5 years that I've been at MEMA, we've forward placed things. We've got cots. We've got blankets. We've got water. We've got food. We put this out in the local EM director shops and tarps just to get them started, because we know that sometimes it's going to require more than what we ever did. So I think it's important that Mississippi, we start early and we get ready for it, but then we just don't know what Mother Nature's going to do, how bad that ice is going to be, and we're looking at almost the first 72's on you. We're almost looking at that time frame. We're about a good 24 hours into this, and I'll go on a limb. I'm not a weather person, but I'm about a 48 hours what I really need for Mother Nature to come back and say, okay, we're going to give you a break now. We're going to melt it down. We're going to get those things done. But in the meantime, we're going to, as soon as we can, we're going to get that generator to that utility to get the water pressure back on. We want them to have running water in their houses. Please be careful with the generators. You know, folks like to go and buy a generator for the first time, take it out of the box and start it up and put it in their carport. Don't do it. That thing needs to be 20, 30 feet away from your house. There's a reason for that. Carbon dioxide and other things that we don't want anybody to try to refuel one in their carport and it catch fire, hit a muffler and things of that nature. So there's some things you gotta be careful of, especially when you buy that brand new in a box generator and you roll it out there and you think it's gonna solve all my problems. Where are you going to hook it into? You're going to run wires into your house. Do you have enough extension cords? How are you going to do this? This is not one that's attached to your home, professionally installed. The ones that we're sending out, there's going to be a team from the Corps of Engineers of 5 members that are professionals, electricians and whatnot, for grounding, the whole 9 yards. When we drop a generator somewhere, it is hooked up properly. The power from the system and the regular power poles, it's cut off. We make sure that there's no way we're going to double feed that facility and something's going to happen. So there is those things that you've got to put in place. It's just not pull up with a generator and it's going to solve your problem. You got to make sure you got the right size. You got to have the right phase, triple phase, 2, single pole. All of that has to be brought into consent. But some of these that we're going to replace are ones that just failed. So they had one in place. So we had the plan. The plan was in place. Every county, we had a 1 o'clock call today. As one county said, y'all know I'm iced in. We're checking what we can, but we're doing as good as we can till you can get here. And we said, roger that. But they did have the first wave of supplies to be able to try to make it through this next 48. And we could have roads are passable in 48, but we still don't have power. We're still going to have heating stations, everything. Once those roads get open, then you've got a bigger machine that's going to come up. FEMA has started pushing us stuff. They started pushing the assets to us. And we're going to put those in the most vulnerable places that they need to be on time, in place, to be able to carry this on out. Meals ready to eat. The American Red Cross is ready. We've got some supplies in for them. They're ready for the long haul on the backside to be able to have those feeding camps, the cots and things for people to stay warm for the next couple of days. So the plan is there. We're phasing it in. Mother Nature hits you harder sometimes. Look at South Mississippi. They got hit, but now they're probably like, what are y'all worried about? I mean, but the next couple of days it's going to refreeze and refreeze. And then when it melts, in that corner, in that curve, in that shady area where the trees are that Brad talked about, MDOT, that's going to be the black ice, and that's going to send you into a ditch, and there could possibly be some catastrophe there. So those are the things we continuously need to warn the public about, that once these roads are open, doesn't mean they're all clear. Let's methodically go through and make sure they are. Our local EM directors are out there checking that as they can, and they're reporting it in. We're putting it out through our distribution as well. So we just need to hunker down and Mississippi stay safe, and we're going to get through it. It'll just take us a couple of days.
Yeah, I just want to say one more time, just because I think it's important. Mississippians naturally want to get out and help, and we are encouraging you to talk to your neighbors and those that are close to you, your friends, your family. We normally, during disasters, whether it's a hurricane or a tornado, the event is outside the state, and our people, emergency managers, first responders, are itching to get to you. ICE is different. And that's what's challenging about this event and the size and the severity of it, is because we can't naturally get people out and about as quickly as we'd like just because of the safety of the roads, et cetera. And so please be careful. Try not to create any unnecessary burdens, but also check on your neighbors. And we'll get through this together. And if there are no other questions, there's one more question, okay?
Michael with Mississippi State has my question.
Hi there, just a very quick follow-up for Director McCraney. You said that you knew in advance you'd have some problems with the generators at Parchman and the Delta. Can you outline what state officials sort of did leading up to the storm to prepare if you'd have some problems with those generators?
Sure. I can tell you that about 3.5, 4 days ago, I got a phone call that said that 3 generators were iffy. And I don't like the word iffy. I said, so 3 generators are on the way up to you to be on standby to be able to plug up into that facility. The Parchman, that's a new problem. But the ones that were iffy to me 3.5 days ago, they were redirected, and we have emergency generator contracts that we executed very early on, before the governor gave us the authority under our administrative order that began 3 days prior. And that's where I can start moving those assets, and we start moving those things that need to be done. So I can tell you the Delta Correctional, 3.5 days ago, emergency contracts were initiated. Our logistics folks were talking to theirs to see how do you power the kitchen, then how do you power the C and the D blocks, et cetera, et cetera. So that one was well known and pushed forward to be able to be done. But sometimes things break in the middle of the night, and that Parchman one, when it broke, it becomes a priority. Those inhabitants, those customers within those facilities, they can't go home for the weekend. They can't go to the neighbor's house. And we realize that in every storm that comes, whether it's from a coastal storm, hurricanes, we look at prisons in South Mississippi, and we look at moving them north. So we knew that those are a big priority for us. We are the custodians of those individuals in those facilities, and we're going to make sure that we have the things there that take care of them.
One more question for Brad. I know that you weren't executive director at 21, but can you speak to any lessons learned from that experience? I recall the discussions about, look, ICE is a different animal, but you talked about you pre-treated more this time. Were there some lessons learned that were applied, you think, based on what happened a few years ago?
Well, one, the governor and the legislature has been very good to us with resources, so we were able to build up our resources and make sure that we had stockpile of materials that would be needed to properly pre-treat all of the roadways and bridges, making sure that we had enough equipment and the right type of equipment to handle a catastrophic weather storm, so we weren't caught without in that situation. But also, one of the things I think that we did a little bit better this time is we tried to communicate both with our elected leaders, our sister agencies, and the public a lot more on what to expect and what we're really experiencing. Most of the time, people are down on what they're not up on. And so we took very serious trying to get our messaging right and making sure that what information we were given, we were putting it out to the public in a timely manner. And I'm glad to say it seems that everybody responded to that. So it was a lot of host of things like that. And I'm sure that we'll be meeting when this is over to discuss what we could do differently and to make things better before the next time. We're always trying to improve, so I'm sure that won't be any different.
I have one question. Somebody texted asking if state offices will be open tomorrow.
We're going to make a decision on that here right after this press briefing. I'll meet with my team and make a decision there. Obviously, we have state office buildings, Brad, particularly in North Mississippi, and where we're gonna head with that is we're gonna give agency heads some discretion. We don't want to put anyone in harm's way, but a lot of people in state government are going to be working tomorrow because A, it's a Monday, but B, because of the storm, and so there are agencies all across, and so I think most of the offices in central Mississippi will at least have some presence there, but we'll put out a release in the next hour or so on exactly what that's going to look like. All right. Thank you all. Have a great day.